Hey folks, how you all doing? Lloyd here, or Mr. Hats as I'm known as in the VC. Thread time again. This one is for Graeme Kraken Vinyl, who's celebrating his 10th anniversary in the VC, and that happened about 3.5 weeks ago when he um, posted this thread tag. It's called the 1980s Vinyl Tag for 2026. I watched the video pretty much a day and a half after Graeme released it, and I wrote down all the questions. And you know how his life gets in the way. Never got to do it. And over the last week, I've seen so many other channels that I am subscribed to that are now doing this thread. So I thought, God, I best jump on it because I'm not going to after today, basically, because I've got work. Friday, Saturday, Sunday we've got to pack, and Monday we're going away for like 10 days, so I just won't get back and do it. So I thought I'd best get on with this now. Brilliant questions. These questions are about the best all up 20 questions I've seen on any tag since I've been making videos over the last, since just before COVID started, or just around COVID time with my channel. So yeah, Graeme, great collection of questions, mate. Pretty easy to answer. Anyone can join in. He's pretty happy if you use cassettes, 8-track CDs, even pictures if you haven't got the record available to answer the question. Basically, anything goes, everything in the kitchen sink, basically. So let's get on with this, shall we? So question number one for the Graeme's 1980s vinyl tag for 2026. Which 80s song had the best video? Well, it really is a no-brainer. It has to be a Michael Jackson video, whether it's Thriller. Bad was absolutely brilliant. Obviously, Billie Jean was brilliant as well. But I'm actually going for this one, which is off the Bad album, and it's Smooth Criminal. Set in the 1930s, like gangster period. It's like a 9-10 minute video, has a storyline attached. But I just like the way in the video that all the dancers are standing there like that, and then they all seem to defy gravity and lean at like a 30-degree angle, 40-degree angle, and then prop themselves back up again. Absolutely brilliant. I know it's all tricks done with elevations and levitating the inside of their shoes and all that. I get what it is, but it just looks absolutely brilliant and absolutely incredible choreography. Great filming all round. So yeah, I'm picking Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson. Number two, easy one. Show a 12-inch single. Anything. Just pick out anything. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go for this one. It's a group you rarely see in the VC. But it's actually a 12-inch single I played here at home. Literally, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. Maybe 3 weeks ago at the most. And I thought, I'll keep that out because that'll come in handy at some point. And sure enough, it did. Sign of the Times, the Bell Stars. They had a couple of really catchy, annoyingly catchy songs over here in Australia in the 1980s. The Clapping Song was the other one, I think, that was a big hit for them. And of course, A Sign of the Times. So that's the 12-inch I'm showing. Question number three, or prompt number three, show a one-hit wonder. One-hit wonders have different definitions in different countries. Some are they only ever had one hit under that name and it was a number one hit. In England, they count Ebony and Ivory by Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder because that is the only single they released under the name Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder. Then they used to count Kiki D and Elton John as well with Don't Go Breaking My Heart because that was the only single they released that also got to number one. But other countries determine one-hit wonders by having one major hit and no other major hits. They might have had a couple of low charting songs. And here in Australia, believe it or not, Dexys Midnight Runners were a one-hit wonder band. And the big hit comes off this album, which is one of my favourite albums of all time, 2 Ray A. and the single was Come On Eileen. This one went to #1 in Australia and stayed there for 5 or 6 weeks from memory at #1. Absolutely brilliant. They did have 2 other lower charting songs. 1980, Gino scraped inside the top 50 for 1 week or 2 weeks, and that was it. And the follow-up single to Come On Eileen, Jackie Wilson Said, which was a cover of an old Van Morrison song, that only just scraped into the top 80. I think it got to number 76 here. So technically one-hit wonders in Australia. Kevin Rowland and Dexys Midnight Runners with Come On Eileen. Prompt number 4, show an album released in 1983. This was really my era of music, sort of 80 to 86. That was my big teenage years of music. So I'm going to show the recently released 40th anniversary edition of Wham's Fantastic, their debut album, originally released in 1983. I do have the original. Lynn has the original. Bought this for the 40th anniversary because we're both big George Michael fans. I'm not a fan of this album. Yeah, I just don't like it, but they had several big hits off here: Bad Boys, Wham, Rap Enjoy What You Do, Club Tropicana, and Young Guns, Go For It. I'm just not a fan. I became a fan with Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, which was on their next album, Make It Big, which had sort of a Motown vibe to it, so I sort of got into Wham/George Michael then. Show a record by your favourite 1980s artist. Well, without doubt, my favourite 1980s artist. Can anyone guess who it is? Don't say Leo Sayer. It's not Leo Sayer. It's Style Council. Yeah, Paul Weller, Mick Talbot, Steve White, and DC Lee. The Style Council. This was their second LP that I'm showing. Our favourite shop from 1985. Number 6, show a dance floor banger. I never liked that term banger. It's an English thing. I never heard it until friends I knew went to Ibiza and come back, and they started using banger. I don't get it. I don't get that stupid term. But it is what it is. It's a dance floor banger. And I remember back in 1981 going to the roller dromes to do roller skating, because that was big back then, and playing cricket at the cricket club. We'd have like function nights where there'd be a DJ there playing stuff, and one of the songs that always got people up on the dance floor was Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones. Just that initial da-na-na, and everyone would just jump up and get on the dance floor and be grooving to the Rolling Stones' Tattoo You. They have a new album coming out tomorrow, Friday. I'm hoping the record shop will have it, and I'll be picking up the CD pretty early, 9 o'clock when it opens. Excuse me, if they have it. Number 7, show an album cover that defines the 1980s. I've seen a lot of these around. A lot of people have come up with some cool ideas, but to me, the 1980s was defined. Out of the music I liked was primarily UK music in the 1980s and Australian music, and the music was defined by those horrible, hollow sounding drum synths and echoey voices and hollow voices. It was horrible. It sounded synthetic. It sounded artificial, and there is no one better at creating that, what I call the horrible 1980s sound, than Mr. Phil Collins. So that's the one I'm going to show. But this is a fantastic album. Number 8, show a record by your favourite act from Live Aid. Well, to me, there was only one act that basically have a big fuck you to the entire music industry and blew every other act off stage, and that was Queen. Their set was absolutely phenomenal. So I'm showing the album from that period, from 1984. Didn't they do Radio Gaga and Hammer to Fall in their set? I'm pretty sure they did. And both of those singles are on this album. So yeah, it's the greatest live set, greatest live 20 minutes of rock and roll in the history of rock music, in my opinion. No one who followed them, bettered them, come close to them. Absolutely incredible by Freddie Mercury and the Boys. Show a band with big hair. Well, I'm going to show this. I wasn't into those hair metal bands from the US with all their big buffy hairdos. So I'm going to go for the first band I thought of, and it's the Thompson Twins. They were really known for their big hair. At the time, he's got ponytail, or not ponytail, but long hair down there under his hat. He's got a big buffy sort of hairstyle, and of course dread is there on this side. So yeah, Thompson Twins, but I could have picked a lot of those English sort of new romantic-y type, post new romantic, blue-eyed soul type singers from the early 1980s. Prompt number 10, your favorite cover song. I never knew that this song I'm about to show you was a cover song until literally 2 days ago. I was playing a CD in my car by Australian alt pop singer Sia, who I really, really love. I'll be doing an albums ranking on her at some point because I have all of her albums. And on this album, she did a cover of a Pretenders song, I Go to Sleep. So this is the one favourite cover. Now I know it's a cover. It's I Go to Sleep. Yeah, as I said, 2 days ago, I didn't even know it was a cover version. I knew it was written by Ray Davies, but she was going out with Ray Davies around that time anyway. So I just thought he might have written it for her. But when I looked into it on Wikipedia after listening to the Sia album, I realised it was originally a Kink song from 1965. So there you go, all those years, all those decades, and I never even knew I Go to Sleep, which appears to have been written perfectly for Chrissy Hynde's vocals, was actually a cover. So yeah, that blew me away when I found that out. Number 11, show a forgotten gem. Well, the gem is an album. People seem to overlook this album a lot, but I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's a double album. It's a debut album. It comes from 1984, and it is Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. This is one of the most eclectic albums I think I've ever heard. There's a blistering punk version of Springsteen's Born to Run. They do you know the Way to San Jose on here as well, total opposite to Springsteen. And then you got the 14-minute version, whatever it is, of Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, which is absolutely incredible. You got Relax, you got Two Tribes, then you got the Christmas #1 UK for that year, Power of Love, and it's brilliant. There's like little skit things in between some of the songs as well. It's just absolutely brilliant, an absolute masterpiece of an album in my opinion. But I could have just picked one of the singles off this, Relax or Two Tribes, for sure. So yeah, what is it? Forgotten Gem, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Two artists, number 12, two artists you wish collaborated. Well, these two artists did collaborate only 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago, but I wish they would have done it in the 1980s when they still had their smooth, soulful voices. And it is Boy George and Paul Weller. You know, they were both fantastic blue-eyed soul singers in the 1980s. Their voices were so smooth, and they would have just blended so well back then. But they did record a version on of You're the Best Thing live on a Paul Weller live thing a few years ago. One Tear as well, which was on, can't for the life of me remember it now, on Sunset, I think. It was on that album. That's like a doof, 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 disco-y type thing, which was Paul Weller and Boy George. But their voices have aged now. They've cracked. And but I would have loved to have seen them when they were in their prime. Something like Victims off this album would have been brilliant. And yeah, You're the Best Thing off this album. Doing that in their prime would have been absolutely blistering. Prompt number 13, Time Machine. Show an act you wish you could go back to the 1980s and see live. This is no brainer for me, being a Paul Weller fan. It would have to be the Jam. I would have loved to have seen them, especially on that last tour of theirs in 1982. But yeah, they're just one big regret for me. Not seeing the Jam live. They never toured Australia as far as I'm aware, and if they did, it would have been sort of 1980-ish, maybe 79. I don't think they did, but that's when they would have done it, when I really wasn't into them at that stage. It wasn't until 1980 when I actually knew who the Jam were. But yeah, if I could go back, I'd give them a left nut to see the Jam live for sure. Number 14. Show a synth pop album. I was going to show Non-Stop Erotic Cabaret by Soft Cell, but I couldn't find it. So I'll show this one instead. Please by the Pet Shop Boys. Has their first real big hit on this one, West End Girls. They were really good. I actually enjoyed Pet Shop Boys in small doses because their stuff does sound all the same. But I think their cover version of Always on My Mind is an absolute classic. It's certainly up there with Elvis Presley's and Willie Nelson's. Prompt 15, show a song from a movie. I don't really have any movie soundtracks, or do I? I can't seem to find any. Here's a soundtrack from the 1980s. Monkey Grip by the Divinyls. They were an Australian band. Most people would know them from their one-hit wonder outside of Australia, I Touch Myself. But they were a hard rocking pub band throughout the 1980s, pretty much. But yeah, I haven't heard this album. That's from Lynn's collection, so I'm not going to show that one. Instead, I'm going to go back to George Michael and show I Want Your Sex from that album there, which was actually featured in Beverly Hills Cop in 1987. So George Michael, Faith, and I Want Your Sex. Prompt 16, Hairbrush song. What song can't you stop yourself singing along to when you hear it on the radio, when you hear it on CD, when you hear it at home, anytime? It's this one, I Want to Break Free by Queen. I just can't get the video out of my head as well. It's so camp. It's just absolutely brilliant. It is. Actually, I could have put that down as one of the best video of the 1980s. It's just so brilliant. But yeah, I Want to Break Free by Queen. Prompt 17, show a hip-hop, soul, R&B, house, dance record from the 1980s. Well, wasn't really into all that stuff back then. I tried to find my Malcolm McLaren album, Duck Rock, because that was sort of hip-hop, the precursor to rap, with his double Dutch thing and Buffalo Gals and all that. But I couldn't find it, so I just settled for Prince, basically. Any Prince album from the 1980s, sort of borders soul, R&B. There's dance music on all of his albums. It sort of edges into hip-hop and rap at times as well. So I'm just going to show Prince for that one. Who would you like to number 18, who would you like to make a comeback now? Well, that for me would have to be Dire Straits. I never saw them on this magic or massive world tour. Don't know why. It just didn't interest me at the time. I wasn't overly keen on this album, and I knew they'd play most of it live, and I just wasn't wasn't into. I love the album now, but radio and TV just hyped it up, and he got sick of it after a while. But yeah, I'd go and see Dire Straits in a heartbeat. I'd see Mark Knopfler in a heartbeat if he toured, even solo acoustically or with a band. It wouldn't matter. So Dire Straits / Mark Knopfler for me. Show an album you jammed in your Walkman. I never had a Walkman. Didn't really interest me because by the time I never had one when I was at school. I had my record player in my room at home. We had one in the house as well, and I had my tape deck and everything, so I didn't need it when I went out. Um, so yeah, never had one. Never had one. I guess if I would have had one back then, I might have been playing Boy October War by U2. I was into that band back then, and I had their albums on cassette, so I probably would have put them in and played U2. But as I said, never had a Walkman. Can't really answer your question. Question number 20. This is the funny one. Your 80s crush. 1981. On one of our local music shows, Countdown 1981, we saw a video. I come in, I don't know where I'd been. Maybe I got a drink or went to the toilet. I come back and a video of this woman wearing a long white dress and ponytails and fancy makeup on her face and a hat and walking around a swimming pool singing, "Do You Really Want to Hurt Me?" My big crush was Boy George. Before I knew he was Boy George, and I that week I collected all these posters, thinking it was a girl, obviously, and put them up on my wall. And then a week later, we knew it was Boy George, which gave it away. So down come the posters. So my family just still ribbed me about that one, that I was in love with Boy George. But that quickly changed because around the same time we had Kim Wilde come on TV. So yeah, Kim Wilde's my crush for the 1980s. Anyway, Graeme, fabulous set of questions, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed getting into this thread / tag of yours. It was absolutely brilliant. The 80s are my period of music, basically. That's where I learnt a lot about music and what I love now. So anyway, guys, head over to Graeme's channel. I'll leave a link for his channel below. Please give me a thumbs up, leave me comments below. There's a subscribe button down there somewhere. Hit the subscribe button if you feel like it. But yeah, can't get Boy George out of my head now. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you stayed till the end, all for now. Stay safe, take care. All for now. Catch you around.